In 2025, Meg Ryan lives a life far from the rom-com spotlight that made her a household name. With a quiet grace, she balances her creative pursuits, family life with her 2 children, and a carefully curated home that reflects her artistic spirit. From her serene residence to her private relationships, car collection, and lasting wealth, this is a rare glimpse into the elegant and evolving lifestyle of Meg Ryan today. Meg Ryan didn't just act in romantic comedies. She was the romantic comedy for an entire generation. With her bright blue eyes, effortless charm, and that unmistakable voice that fluttered somewhere between vulnerability and quick-witted sass, she became the cinematic embodiment of love in the 90s. One of those early parts was in Top Gun, 1986, where she played Goose's devoted wife. It was a brief appearance, but even then, there was something magnetic about her. That spark exploded into full-blown stardom just a few years later with When Harry Met Sally, 1989. A film that didn't just launch 1,000 rom-coms, it launched a legend. The infamous "I'll have what she's having" scene became part of cultural shorthand, and Meg Ryan, seemingly overnight, became America's sweetheart. Paired frequently with Tom Hanks, she helped define the sweet spot of romantic storytelling. Whether they were falling in love through late-night radio in Sleepless in Seattle or exchanging emails as anonymous bookshop rivals in You've Got Mail, Ryan and Hanks were the couple people didn't just root for, they believed in. With paychecks soaring up to $15 million per film, she was one of the highest-paid actresses in Hollywood. And for good reason. She made audiences believe that love, awkward, surprising, transformative love, was not just possible, but probable. When a Man Loves a Woman, 1994, showed her as a woman in crisis, navigating addiction and motherhood. In Courage Under Fire, 1996, she played a helicopter pilot in a military drama, earning critical praise. And in the Cut, 2003, she shed her wholesome image altogether in an erotic thriller that polarized audiences and critics alike. Her personal life became headline fodder during the early 2000s, particularly during and after her divorce from actor Dennis Quaid. Whispers of an affair with co-star Russell Crowe during the filming of Proof of Life, 2000, sent the tabloids into overdrive. With a net worth of $85 million and a filmography that spans sweetness, sorrow, and strength, Meg Ryan's legacy is more than a series of well-lit kisses and clever banter. Before she was Meg Ryan, she was Margaret Mary Emily, Anne Hyra, a name almost as long as her journey to stardom. Born on November 19, 1961 in the quiet town of Fairfield, Connecticut, Meg had no grand Hollywood lineage. No early fame. She was just a journalism student, first at the University of Connecticut and later at NYU trying to find her footing. To make ends meet, she slipped into commercials and bit parts on soap operas. Then, with a decision that would quietly shape the rest of her career, she adopted her mother's maiden name, Ryan, and a star began to stir beneath the surface. Her first real break came not on the big screen, but on daytime TV. From 1982 to 1984, she played Betsy Stewart on As the World Turns, winning attention and gaining experience. It wasn't all glamorous, though. Her next TV gig, One of the Boys, was such a disaster it would later land on lists of the worst shows ever aired. But Meg didn't let that stop her. The mid-'80s saw her grinding through supporting roles, steadily building her resume. Then came Top Gun, 1986, and although her role as Goose's wife, Carol Bradshaw, was small, she left a lasting impression. It was her first true taste of the big leagues. Then, in 1989, everything changed. When Harry Met Sally dropped like a cultural bomb, with Billy Crystal at her side and Nora Ephron's witty dialogue flowing like champagne, Meg didn't just play the role of Sally. She became Sally, neurotic, hilarious, endearing, and unforgettable. That deli scene? Iconic. Suddenly, Meg Ryan, wasn't just an actress. She was America's sweetheart. The 90s belonged to her. In Sleepless in Seattle, she rekindled the idea of fate. In French Kiss, she made neurosis romantic. In You've Got Mail, she proved that even dial-up internet couldn't stop destiny. Time and again, audiences flocked to see her, not just for the stories, but for her. Her chemistry with Tom Hanks was the stuff of movie legend. Two stars who seemed cosmically aligned to fall in love again and again. In every alternate universe, the movies could dream up. But Ryan wasn't interested in being typecast forever. In When a Man Loves a Woman, 1994, she cracked her perfect exterior to play a woman struggling with alcoholism. It was raw and vulnerable, a performance that surprised critics and proved she was more than a box office darling. She was an actor with depth, range, and a hunger to evolve. As the 2000s arrived, so did a shift in both the industry and her career. Films like Proof of Life and Against the Ropes didn't resonate the same way. The headlines turned to her personal life, especially after her divorce from Dennis Quaid and the tabloid-fueled whispers about Russell Crowe. The romantic comedy landscape, once her kingdom, began to change. And Meg? She pulled back. Not with bitterness, but with grace. She chose to step away rather than chase something that no longer inspired her. In 2015, she returned, not as just a star, but a storyteller. With Ithaca, her directorial debut, Meg stepped behind the camera to tell a heartfelt World War II-era tale, adapted from William Saroyan's The Human Comedy. It wasn't a blockbuster, but it was a deeply personal project, and it marked a new chapter, one defined by quiet creative control, not flashing paparazzi bulbs. Years passed, and then in 2023, she came home. Not literally, but cinematically. What Happens Later, co-starring David Duchovny, marked her return to romantic comedy. And not just as its star, but as its co-writer and director. It was Meg Ryan, through a new lens. Older, wiser, still disarmingly charming. The film didn't just remind audiences of what they loved, it reminded them why they loved her in the first place. For many years, Meg Ryan called a palatial estate in Los Angeles' prestigious Bel Air neighborhood home. A serene, private sanctuary tucked behind gates and hidden among mature trees and meticulously manicured gardens. This grand residence was more than just a place to live. It was a symbol of success and a reflection of her elegant, low-key approach to fame. The home offered the ideal combination of Hollywood luxury and personal retreat, with a layout and design that emphasized comfort, light, and timeless style. Built in classic European style with a touch of California charm, the sprawling residence sat atop a quiet hilltop, affording sweeping views of canyons, treetops, and the city beyond. As guests approached via a long, winding driveway, the home revealed itself slowly. A warm stucco exterior, a clay tile roof, and tall windows that spilled sunlight into every corner of the interior. A grand front entrance opened into soaring spaces filled with natural light, high ceilings, and an artful mix of stone, hardwood, and soft neutral tones. The main living spaces were designed to impress without overwhelming, large yet inviting, with fireplaces anchoring both the formal living room and the cozier family room. Floor-to-ceiling French doors opened out onto shaded patios and balconies, creating a seamless flow between indoor and outdoor living. The formal dining room, ideal for entertaining, looked out over the lush grounds, while the gourmet kitchen featured top-of-the-line appliances, a central island, and an adjacent breakfast nook perfect for morning coffee in the sun. Meg's home included several bedrooms, each one a private suite of its own. The primary bedroom was especially notable, boasting a fireplace, sitting area, and its own private terrace. The ensuite bathroom rivaled a spa, with a soaking tub set beneath a window, dual vanities, and walk-in closets designed to house a Hollywood wardrobe. Other bedrooms were ideal for guests or family, and many opened directly onto the gardens, or private balconies, offering tranquility and seclusion. Outside, the grounds were the true showstopper. The backyard was an entertainer's dream. A large swimming pool surrounded by stone patios and shaded seating areas, a full outdoor kitchen and dining setup, and sweeping lawns lined with roses, citrus trees, and towering hedges. Meandering paths led through landscaped gardens and hidden corners, inviting leisurely strolls or quiet moments away from the main house. From summer soirees to peaceful solitude, the outdoor space was both versatile and enchanting. In 2009, Meg decided to part ways with the Bel Air mansion, listing it for $14.2 million. Though the market proved challenging, she eventually sold it for $11.1 million. Years later, acclaimed director James Wan acquired the property for $18.5 million, ensuring the estate remained part of Hollywood's inner circle. Today, the house continues to represent a slice of classic Los Angeles glamour, elegant, private, and steeped in entertainment history. For Meg, it was once a place of peace and prestige. For others, it remains a dream realized in the hills of Bel Air. In 2006, Meg Ryan made a quiet yet stunning addition to her real estate portfolio with the purchase of a coastal retreat on Chappaquiddick Island, a remote and scenic part of Martha's Vineyard off the coast of Massachusetts. Spending $6.5 million, she acquired a serene private estate that spanned 5 acres, offering a blend of rugged coastal beauty and sophisticated understated luxury. This home was a world away from the bright lights of Hollywood, a deliberate escape for Meg, who often sought solace and authenticity in her personal surroundings. The house itself, a timeless New England-style residence, was thoughtfully integrated into the island's natural landscape. Shingled and weathered by the sea breeze, the home fits seamlessly into its surroundings, offering panoramic views of the ocean and a quiet rhythm dictated by tides, birdsong, and coastal winds. The architecture was elegant but not ostentatious, perfectly suited to the environment and to Meg's refined taste. Inside, the home was airy and filled with light, with a neutral color palette that let the views take center stage. Vaulted ceilings and exposed wood beams gave the living spaces warmth and character, while large windows and French doors brought the outside in. The open-plan living room, anchored by a stone fireplace, flowed into a dining area and a spacious kitchen outfitted with professional-grade appliances, stone countertops, and custom cabinetry. The layout encouraged connection and conversation, but also provided quiet corners for reading, reflection, or simply watching the waves roll in. The home featured several bedrooms, each designed with simplicity and comfort in mind. The primary suite offered its own private deck, a spa-like bathroom, and breathtaking vistas of the island's untouched coastline. Guest rooms were cozy and thoughtfully placed to ensure privacy, and many included views of the sea, gardens, or surrounding woods. Every room felt like an invitation to slow down and breathe. Outdoor spaces were equally enchanting. The property included expansive lawns, a winding path to the beach, and multiple decks for lounging, dining, or stargazing. Adirondack chairs dotted the edge of the bluff, perfect for long summer evenings or crisp autumn mornings with a mug of coffee in hand. The 5-acre spread ensured a sense of total seclusion, broken only by the sound of waves or the rustle of wind through native grasses and pines. For more than a decade, this home served as Meg's private coastal sanctuary, a place where she could disappear from public life, reconnect with nature, and enjoy time with family and close friends in peace. It was a retreat built not for show, but for true living. In December 2019, Meg sold the Chappaquiddick property for $11 million, marking the end of her island chapter. But the legacy of that home remains, representing not just a smart real estate investment, but a deeply personal piece of her story, a reflection of her love for quiet, beautiful places, and her desire to live well and meaningfully away from the spotlight. In 2013, Meg Ryan added a bold, stylish chapter to her real estate story by purchasing a 4,000-square-foot loft in New York City's trendy Soho neighborhood. Paying $4,625 million, she acquired the property from fellow actor Hank Azaria, best known for voicing several iconic characters on The Simpsons. Nestled in a historic cast-iron building, the loft was the perfect blank canvas, raw yet rich with potential, and Meg transformed it into a signature expression of her aesthetic. Warm, sophisticated, and effortlessly cool. The apartment, situated in a pre-war building on a quiet cobblestone block, had the bones that New York real estate dreams are made of. With soaring ceilings, oversized arched windows, original brickwork, and wide plank oak floors, the space had character in spades. Meg undertook an extensive and meticulous renovation, gutting the space and reimagining it entirely, crafting an environment that felt both modern and timeless, minimal yet layered with charm. Entering the loft, one was struck immediately by the sense of openness. The layout flowed from room to room with graceful ease, each area defined not by walls but by mood and texture. The living room, with its massive windows overlooking Soho's historic streets, was anchored by a sleek fireplace and framed by reclaimed wood beams, lending the space a rustic elegance. Natural light poured in during the day, while soft, layered lighting created intimacy and drama at night. The kitchen, custom-designed and fully open to the main living space, featured a large marble island, state-of-the-art appliances, and matte black fixtures that contrasted beautifully against white cabinetry and exposed brick. It was designed for both entertaining and personal ease, a chef's kitchen that didn't scream showplace, but whispered effortless sophistication. There were 3 bedrooms in total, each with a distinct ambiance. The primary suite felt like a boutique hotel retreat, large, serene, and thoughtfully appointed. It featured an enormous walk-in closet and a spa-like bathroom with a freestanding tub, industrial steel-framed glass doors, and hand-finished tile work that balanced old-world craft with modern design. Guest bedrooms offered their own quiet luxury, perfect for visitors or quiet work-from-home setups. The loft also included a library and media room, spaces that Meg reportedly used for reading scripts and unwinding. Everywhere in the home, details like vintage lighting fixtures, custom millwork, and eclectic furniture pieces showcased her refined yet approachable taste. The entire space was a masterclass in curated comfort. When she listed the property in 2017, it created an immediate buzz in the real estate world, not just for its celebrity connection, but for the exquisite renovation that had turned it into one of Soho's standout luxury homes. Meg ultimately sold the loft for $985 million, more than double what she had paid just 4 years earlier. Meg Ryan's love life has often drawn as much attention as her on-screen romances, sometimes tender, sometimes turbulent, always human. In 1991, she married actor Dennis Quaid, forming one of Hollywood's golden couples of the era. They seemed like a picture-perfect match, riding the wave of stardom together, and in 1992, they welcomed a son, Jack Quaid, who would eventually follow both parents into the acting world. But behind the glossy magazine covers, their marriage was fraying. By 2001, it ended in divorce. Though rumors swirled about Meg's brief but highly publicized involvement with Russell Crowe, her co-star in Proof of Life, as the final straw, Ryan later clarified that the cracks in her marriage to Quaid had begun long before Crowe entered the picture. That was not the reason, she once remarked, pushing back against the narrative that cast her as the villain in a Hollywood breakup. Her honesty, rare and refreshing in an industry obsessed with image, helped reframe the public perception of what had truly unraveled. After the split, Meg didn't just step away from Dennis or Russell. She took a step back from the entire spotlight. Hollywood's sweetheart receded from the dazzle and noise of fame, choosing instead to reshape her life on her own terms. In 2006, she quietly made headlines again, not for a new film or red carpet appearance, but for her decision to adopt a baby girl from China. It was a deeply personal chapter, far removed from the soundstages and scripts of her earlier life. During this quieter period, Meg also threw herself into meaningful causes. She partnered with CARE, an organization dedicated to fighting global poverty by empowering women and communities. The same woman whose characters once searched for love in New York City cafes and bookshops was now advocating for women's rights and social change around the world. It wasn't glamorous, but it was real. And Meg Ryan was, above all else, embracing her most authentic self. Then came another unexpected twist in her romantic journey. In 2010, Meg began dating musician John Mellencamp, a rocker with a rough edge that seemed, at least from the outside, a surprising match for Hollywood's gentle romantic heroine. But their chemistry was undeniable, and their relationship would unfold in fits and starts over nearly a decade. After breaking up and reuniting multiple times, the couple got engaged in 2018. Fans hoped for a happy ending, but by 2019, the engagement was off. In 2023, Mellencamp spoke candidly about what went wrong. In a rare moment of public reflection, he admitted he hadn't been the partner she deserved. "I'm just a Thai boyfriend," he said, not with bravado, but regret. Of Ryan, he added simply, "She doesn't love me so much." It was a confession as raw and unfiltered as any rock ballad, and perhaps one more honest than most Hollywood press statements. Through love, heartbreak, motherhood, and reinvention, Meg Ryan has always managed to navigate her path with grace. She may have played America's sweetheart on screen, but off-screen, she has shown herself to be something far more compelling. A woman unafraid to change, to step away, and to live life according to her own script.